Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin, and welcome to an interesting segment on this channel. Something new that I've thought up, and it needs to be executed. It needs to be delivered to you guys. I thought, you know what? Why not do a weekend wrap up and actually look at what are some of the things that we've learned over the matches that has taken place in the weekend, and come up with some of the interesting points. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we've got quite a few interesting talking points over the weekend. As you can see, a picture of Callum Hudson-Odoi along with Elanga. Callum Hudson-Odoi, a lot of Chelsea fans crying. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Jhon Duran, another Chelsea-linked player over the summer window, and some interesting facts about Jhon Duran as well. Erling Haaland, how he's absolutely unstoppable. We're going to talk about Anthony Taylor doing madness in that Chelsea versus Bournemouth versus Chelsea game. He broke a record, so we're going to talk about that record. Ange Postecoglou, is this guy actually a bit of a fraud or not? So a lot of things to touch base on. So let's get cracking into it. As I said, this is a new segment. I want to call it Ms. Talks Football. Do you know what I mean? Ms. Talks Football, weekend wrap up of the Premier League. Some of the things that we have learned. Okay, first, number one, let's go. Callum Hudson-Odoi, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a joke. That goal he scored was absolutely sensational at Anfield. This is a big, big deal, you know. Away from home at Anfield to get the winner. That is a boss moment. And now a lot of Chelsea fans are crying off the back of that. It's trademark Callum Hudson-Odoi goal in recent times since his move to Nottingham Forest. He's been cutting in and he's whipping that shot. Kind of similar sort of situation that he did against us as well last season. And a few other similar type of goals that he scored last season. Look, Chelsea fans are crying. Let me tell you guys one thing. Yes, it is. When you look back, what could have been, you know, we sold him for 3 million. He's probably worth somewhere around 30, 40, maybe even 50 million already. Who knows? Nottingham Forest are going to make money out of him. But to sell him for 3 million, and then we get the likes of Mudryk and this, that, the other in that particular summer window, window's back, right? It kind of looks like, yeah, we've committed an absolute huge L here. But let me tell you something. Callum Hudson-Odoi, ladies and gentlemen, no point in crying about it. I don't think he would have done this at Chelsea. He needed to move away from Chelsea, needed a fresh start. And luckily for him, Nottingham Forest have come along and they've really believed in him. They've given him the love. They've given him all that, opportunities. And it's the lack of pressure as well. Playing for Chelsea and playing for Nottingham Forest are two different matters here. So, look, big up to Callum Hudson-Odoi that he's doing well. But I am absolutely of no doubt that this same Callum Hudson-Odoi that we're seeing at Nottingham Forest, we would not have seen at Chelsea Football Club. So, look, let's move on. Let's be happy that he's doing so well at Nottingham Forest, and I hope he continues to do well and finds that rhythm, finds that love for the game, because I'll tell you what, he was absolutely out of love at Chelsea Football Club. Nottingham Forest don't get enough credit for selling Brennan Johnson for 55 million euros and signing Callum Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Elanga for 21 million. By the way, that ball that came to Callum Hudson-Odoi that led to the goal at Anfield, that was from Elanga. Lovely whipped in cross, cross pass, splitting the entire defense. Elanga, another fine purchase for Nottingham Forest. So combined, both of them were 21 million, and they sold Brennan Johnson for 55. Downright robbery, and Brennan Johnson's absolutely stinking it up at Spurs. Both significant upgrades on Johnson and capable of doing far more than just running up and down the touchline and going out wide. I mean, that is absolutely insane business from Nottingham Forest. And hope to see Callum Hudson-Odoi keep doing well in the Premier League. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, all three of Jhon Duran's substitute goals this season have won the man of the match have won the match for Aston Villa. Forget about man of the match. Have won the match. All three goals, and he's been coming off the bench as well. He's been a substitute. All three of Jhon Duran's substitute goals this season have won the match for Aston Villa. I have to say that is. Do you know what? Whether we like the player or not, and I've always said this in the summer window that just went, I said, there's something about this Jhon Duran kid. Like, I wouldn't absolutely be disgusted by the fact that if he joins Chelsea Football Club, I mean, yeah, we should go out there and get a bona fide striker, no problems. But Jhon Duran, there's something about, I've always said this, obviously not the first time when we first got linked, but as we started to see a little bit more of this kid last season, end of last season, you could see there was something about him. And then this season, he's been scoring winners, right? Our scouts, one thing's for sure, Chelsea scouts, they know what they're doing, Like, seriously, they know what they're doing. Adam Wharton was another one who's at Crystal Palace. They've been going out there and finding these players, and they're doing a good job. So one thing's for certainty, if these current scouts stick around at Chelsea Football Club, we shall be finding more quality players. The issue is you don't want to influx the team with a lot of inexperience. You want to balance it out with some Jhon Durans along with some experienced players, and then it's a fruitful situation. However, Aston Villa, I think they're building an absolute monster of a player. His value last summer, the window that just went, summer window that just finished, I think it was worth about £40 million. By the end of this season, if he carries on like this, it might even be more. Don't forget, Aston Villa have Champions League football as well. So he's going to be able to showcase his talent at a Champions League level. No player has scored more match-winning goals as a substitute in an entire Premier League season, and we're only 4 games in. 3-2 against Everton. Here's the absolute scorcher, absolute screamer of a shot. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a mind-blowing shot from long range. Thunderbolt, absolute thunderbolt. Aston Villa 3-2 win against Everton, coming back from 2-0 down, and Jhon Duran with the winner. 2-1 against Leicester, once again Jhon Duran winner, and then 2-1 against West Ham in the first game week, once again Jhon Duran winner. So look out for this player. Look out for Jhon Duran. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Erling Haaland this season. Oh my God, this guy is unstoppable. This guy is an absolute freak, If you're doing Fantasy Premier League and you don't have this guy in your team, you are making a massive mistake. On top of that, if you do have him and you're not captaining him, you're even making a much more bigger mistake. You got to have him and you got to captain him, because this guy is insane. He's scoring 2, he's scoring hat tricks. This guy's scoring for fun. He's so physical. He's a different specimen up front, man. He's robust. His physicality is immense. Pace, power, ruthlessness is incredible. This season already, ladies and gentlemen, 4 games, 85 touches. He don't touch, he doesn't want to mess about with the ball too much. Shots 20, goals 9, touches per goal 9.4. Every 9.4 touches, this guy's banging in a goal. Is a cheat code. He really is a cheat code. If this guy carries on like this, honestly, I think 40, 50 goal mark in the Premier League is not even going to be an issue. He's on 9 goals already. He's about to crack into the 10, 11, that 10 to 20 mark already. It's insane. If he carries on like this, I think it's going to be a wrap for Man City, blowing it up this season and winning it by a long margin. They've got Arsenal next up, and I hope this guy bosses that particular match. One particular team he hasn't really ran a havoc yet is, I think, Arsenal. Those quality defenders have got his measure. So let's see what Haaland can do against Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes next weekend when City host Arsenal. I hope City win. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Ange Postecoglou. Do you know what? There's a particular content creator in the Tottenham Hotspurs scene who I've worked with previously, or once I think I've worked with him. He's got an interesting take, which you guys need to hear this out. But check this out. Ange Postecoglou, tricky Spurs after today's home loss to Arsenal. 4 clean sheets in the last 37, 8 wins in the last 22 games, 8 total clean sheets since he took over. I can't believe this guy could not manage a team to beat that Arsenal team. If you see that Arsenal midfield, look, I didn't watch this game, but I'm just surprised by the fact that he got, apparently, like people are saying, he got absolutely locked up. Arsenal didn't allow them to have any big chances, and then they nicked the game in the set piece. Arsenal are very solid when it comes to defensive structure now. But that midfield that Arsenal had, I believe Jorginho Martinelli and Thomas Partey, something like that. How Spurs did not win at their home ground with that midfield from Arsenal. So many key notable players missing for Arsenal. I'm starting to think Ange Postecoglou, ladies and gentlemen. I know he's my Australian, compatriot, but this guy's turning out to be a fraud. He really is turning out to be a fraud. But he says, mate, who cares about Spurs failing to score in 4 of the last 11 games? Now, check this out. This is from Henry Wright.
Ange has not got a clue. He just stands there. Just who we are, mate. Just who we are. Just who we are. Arteta's giving it all these little tactical directions, close it down, open it up, doing the DJ decks. He has not got a clue, mate. And I'm telling you that now. 4 clean sheets in 37 games. 4. We have not beaten a top 6 side since a year ago. A year ago. We've signed 65 million Dominic Solanke. And what do? We create absolutely no chances. Our World Cup winner, 2-time Copa America winner defender, gets a little nudge in the back. Argentina, Brazil, the biggest rivalry in South America. And Gabriel, who's got 15 Premier League goals, gets a free fucking header. It's an absolute joke. It's a joke. I tell you now, we will get spanked by Coventry. We've got absolutely zero tactical brain. Arteta rocks up. Let's be honest, they weren't even good. But there's a blueprint out there on how to beat Tottenham. You just got to sit back. If you've got anyone who can put a header in, you're pretty much guaranteed a win. We haven't got a clue, mate.
We haven't got a clue, mate. We haven't got a clue, mate. That's exactly what Ange Postecoglou is about. Come on, mate. We haven't got a clue, mate. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Man United. We must talk about Man United. These guys, I know, Man United fans will say the same thing about Chelsea as well, but I have to talk about Man United. I was doing the watch along. A lot of you guys might know this, but at halftime I had to stop because that Archer guy or whatever guy for Southampton, if he didn't miss that penalty, and after that missing that penalty, everything just changed. It wasn't as if even Man United were good. Southampton were actually very, very good for the first, up until that penalty. I think, when did the penalty happen? The 35th, 36th, something like that minute. And he missed the penalty. Absolute shambles. After that, Nottingham Forest collapsed. And then Man United go on, score 2 in the first half, and then they've scored the third one. But I have to say, these guys, they're not good, man. Quality teams will put them away. Similar things could probably be said about Chelsea. But at least we have this, when we get the balance right, at least we have this feel that we can control the team. Like in the second half against Bournemouth, we did control. And we're going to talk about that down the track. But Marcus Rashford finally scores. Eric Ten Hag probably might feel a bit vindicated to keep starting Rashford. Rashford gets him the goal. He's probably feeling that, okay, he might get in on a bit of a run now. But look, Marcus Rashford, that shot, it was more of a hopeful shot. I mean, obviously he targeted nicely, but there wasn't that conviction behind that shot. Look, Man United, ladies and gentlemen, for me, once again, a bit of a scammer, and they keep scamming their way. How long can they keep scamming? We shall see. Are they actually going to start playing some proper footy, or are they going to keep scamming? Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we actually bought João Felix, Christopher Nkunku, and Jadon Sancho off the bench. That's unreal, coming from Olivia Bazaglo. Look, similar things can be said, as I've said about Man United to us. However, the one thing that I do want to say is that when we have the balance right, when the right players are playing in the right positions, I think we are a good team to watch. I think we are a team that can control the matches. That first half against Crystal Palace before the international break, we should have beaten them 2-3-0 at halftime. And there shouldn't be no drama. We were in full control. There was no issues. And then in the second half, I don't know, God knows what happened. We didn't want to win duels. We didn't want to do the hard yards, basically. We didn't want to compete. Similar thing happened against Bournemouth as well. The first half was abysmal. A lot of the balance of the side was wrong. Axel Desasi on the right side is not good enough. Madueke, once again, dropping that inconsistent game. Pedro Neto didn't have a good game. Renato Viga wasn't the greatest in the first half. Wesley Fofana was erratic, which led to that penalty. Luckily, Robert Sanchez bailed us out from that. But in the second half, ladies and gentlemen, when Finally, Jadon Sancho came on, took the game to the opposition. The opposition started to fear that there was a level of threat that was coming from us. Desarcy went off. We restructured that defense with Wesley Fofana on the right side, Tosin in the middle. Levi Colwell was always on the left anyway, but it was a far better structure. Even midfielders like Renato Viga was a little bit more deeper, who was more acting as a destroyer, who's good on the ball, but wasn't bombing up forward and getting out of possession, which would put him in a very difficult position because he doesn't have the quickest pace to recover. So it was a better balance. This is the difference between Man United and Chelsea. I never feel Man United are ever in control of the match, whereas I think Chelsea, if the balance is right, can get the match under control against the opposition. The other thing is, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor did a madness in this particular match. 16 yellow cards, handing out yellow cards. I believe we got a fine as well. Let me have a look. I think Chelsea Football Club got a fine along with Bournemouth too. I feel like maybe, Esteval Willian as well. We can talk about that another time, but Esteval Willian, another really, really good performance, but we'll talk about that another time. The FA have charged Chelsea and Bournemouth 25,000 each for ill discipline in the last night's match. I mean, this guy was just handing out yellow cards, Anthony Taylor. I don't know why this guy keeps refereeing our games a lot. Like, seriously, he's one of the highest ones that keeps refereeing us. But not just that, look, he was handing out yellow cards to Bournemouth as well. And now each team has received £25,000 disciplinary fine, which, it's not a big deal for both the clubs. But, I mean, this guy was just willy-nilly producing yellow cards. Well, why are you doing that? At one stage, I felt like there was going to be multiple red cards. Everyone was getting a yellow card, and you just lost count that someone's going to end up being a red. So he now holds the record. Was he going for the record? Was he going for holding that record of one particular game, most yellow cards handed out? It's absolutely mad. Anthony Taylor, how this guy keeps refereeing matches in the Premier League is sickening. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the things that we've learned. In terms of Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's absolutely rocking it up, and that fine goal against Liverpool. Jhon Duran, look out for him. Aston Villa might have just, unearthed something huge. Obviously, he's been there for a little while now, but he's coming to fruition at this moment. Erling Haaland, for me, and I think for a lot of you guys, is absolutely unstoppable and is rocking it, absolutely rocking it. And Ange Postecoglou, is this guy a fraud or not? Man United, for me, let's see how long you can keep scamming. And Chelsea, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot to look forward to. We do have a lot to look forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the latest, things that we've learned over the last, the weekend that has just gone by. Let me know your thoughts, any interesting things that you felt was important to highlight. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the 6 things that I've come up with in this particular Premier League weekend. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. We're going to continue this Miss Talks football outside of just Chelsea football. We're going to talk about a whole heap of things that's happening in the Premier League. Let me know how you feel about this particular segment. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya. Bye.